Hello there everybody, and welcome to a brand new series of Let's Play Planet Coaster. We are starting off a brand new park today in celebration of the game's release. Yes, the game has released today. I actually unlocked on Steam just about an hour ago, I think it was, and I'm super excited to get into this. I've been waiting really for the launch to actually start up a brand new Sandbox park. As you can see here, we are in a brand new, completely empty park, and it's ours to do whatever we want with. And this is really what I've been looking forward to doing in Planet Coaster and on the channel. I've obviously got my career mode series going as well, which I'm going to continue doing. But I think this series is going to be the meat and bones and where we're all going to learn the most and create the most awesome things. So in this series, we are going to be playing in Sandbox mode. In this mode, you don't have any cash at all. It's completely unlimited, so you can build whatever you want and do whatever you want, essentially. And you start with a completely blank slate. Now, the parks have actually been increased in size as of late. Over one of the last couple of updates in the beta, they were actually increased by 2.5 times the size. So we've got an extremely massive area to work with. If I just zoom out here and you can have a look at that, it's a massive area compared to what it was before. So we've got a lot to build. I've got a few plans in place and I've got a theme that I've settled on. So I'm really looking forward to getting into this and sharing it with you. Now, just a couple of formalities before we continue. You may have noticed, if you're a regular viewer of mine, I'm actually doing this in 1080p instead of 720, which is what I usually do. But I'm actually doing this at 30 frames a second instead of 60. Now, the reason I'm doing that is because this game has really nice high-resolution textures in it, so I think you'll appreciate that, and you'll certainly get to see more detail in the game by me doing this in 1080p. And one thing as well is that the game itself, it doesn't actually run particularly well without me turning the settings down really low, and I don't actually want to do that because this is a game where it doesn't actually matter too much about getting that 60 frames per second. So I'm gonna keep it as it is. I'm gonna keep it on high graphics settings. At the moment I'm getting about 50 frames per second, so there's not really any point in doing it at 1080p 60 frames per second because we're just not going to get that frame rate constantly. So I thought that seemed like a bit of a waste, and if I did do 60 frames per second, I'd have to tune it down to 720p. So I figured it'd be better to get the nice resolution that you get in this game rather than wasting frames per second, essentially. So, I mean, if you guys have got any thoughts on that, if you prefer it in 60 frames per second at 720p, then let me know and I'll do that. But I want to see how this looks in 1080p, and I'm sure you guys will be able to really appreciate the detail in this game a bit more that way. So, like I say, we're going to be playing this in Sandbox mode, and I've got a theme for the park, and basically what I'm hoping to do here is a New York-styled park. So, it's not going to be a copy of New York or anything like that, or a copy of any of the areas of New York. It's going to be inspired by New York, and it's going to contain, you know, hopefully some landmarks in there, and, you know, building styles and architectural styles of New York. And it should be pretty cool, I think. I'm really looking forward to doing this. I've been playing with a few ideas in a different world, and yeah, I've got some pretty cool stuff going on, so I'm really looking forward to sharing that with you. So then, first of all, I've got the game paused now, and oh, actually, sorry, one other formality before we get cracking with things. Now, you may remember me saying in my other Planet Coaster videos, if you watch them, that I was actually going to do some tutorials on the game. However, Planet Coaster have actually released a decent number. I think there's 3 tutorials that are pretty well done and well explained, which explains some of the things I was going to do in my tutorials anyway. So I'm actually going to scratch the tutorials for now, and what I'm going to do in this series is I'm going to present it in quite a tutorial style. So I'm going to be quite clear about what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, so that you guys can learn at the same time as playing along with me. So I hope that's okay for you. If you do want to see some tutorials from me, then let me know. I may do some just sort of tips and tricks videos later down the line. But for right now, I just really want to get into the game and play this. So, enough of me rambling now. Let's get right to it. So, we're starting with a completely blank slate here. Here's the park entrance, and the park border it's right here. So, we can actually build anything from there outwards. And what I want to do first of all, there's already a park entrance actually here, and this is sort of where the guests come through and they buy the tickets. Now what I want to do first of all is actually build a sort of an entrance building around this, so that there's a nice epic entrance for when people come to the park. So just want to have a look here, and can I actually click on this? Can I move this? Yes, I can. Okay. Park entrance gate, and let's see. Select building. Okay, yeah, cool. So, yeah, we can actually move that if we want to. But I think I'm going to actually leave that there, to be honest. I think that's okay, but, I mean, we can always move it at a later stage if we want to anyway. So, I'm going to actually build the building first of all before putting any more paths in. And I'm going to see how that turns out, because I want to actually do the pathing afterwards, because I'm not entirely sure as to how it's going to pan out, the entrance area. I've got a nice idea for once we get into the park, but I mean this this entrance idea, I'm kind of freestyling it today, so I hope you guys will enjoy that. So let's just change the path up first of all. Now, can I change the path over here? No, I can't. Okay, so yeah, I think I'm gonna just... Oh. That's a bit strange. I wonder why it's doing that. Why is it not letting me... Malformed path part. I'll tell you what, we'll deal with the style of path after we've actually done this. So I'm going to just place a short path on the other side of this, so that we've kind of got it at both sides of the entrance. So I'm just going to go like that for the time being. I've got angle snapping on there and a relatively short length of 2 and a width of 4 meters. So that's nice for now. And we're just going to start building around this. And what I wanted to build was kind of like there's a lot of really large, epic sort of post-Greek, not post-Greek, Greek revival architecture in New York. So I wanted to try and replicate something like that for the entrance. So what I want to do first of all is, I know roughly what parts I'm going to use, but I'm not sure fully on how I'm going to use them. So I'm going to use the filter here and select stucco. Now stucco, in case you're wondering if you've never heard of that before, it's like a really fine plaster that you use to coat on buildings, and it gives a really nice smooth finish, and it can also be kind of sculpted into kind of different patterns and basically decorative features. So stuff like this, as you can see, that's kind of got the the embossed kind of square in there, and all the detailing around the edge. So we're going to use that, and let's have a look here. So I don't actually think this is going to have a floor as such. So let's see. Just having a look for some parts here. So what's this? This is a tunnel right here. I think maybe we could make use of that, but I mean, let's see, it is quite low down, so I was thinking of making these pillars quite tall, to be honest with you. So, Ooh, we could make use of that. That'd be pretty cool. Okay, so let's just get into this. I really need a grid to start with. So a lot of the items I'm going to use are items that don't snap to a grid. So you'll see here, I don't know if you can see it on YouTube, but there are some items with a white background and some with like a grid behind them. So the ones with the grid, they will snap to, once I place them down, it will create a grid for me so that I can then place other items kind of in relation to that, like that. And it all kind of snaps into place quite easily. But if I select an item with the white background, that doesn't snap at all to a grid. So I can kind of just move that around and put it wherever I want and so forth. And that just kind of goes anywhere. So ideally, I want to grid down first of all so I can actually get all my stuff on, well, roughly a grid anyway, so I can see where everything is in relation to each other. So I think what I could do is this support actually snaps to a grid. So I'm going to actually just stick that down there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to hit... I'm going to move that, and then I'm going to hold shift and then just drag it down like that. So that's now out of sight. Actually, it's not fully out of sight. So I'm going to actually go straight back into, I'm going to hit X this time for advanced move, and I'm just going to kind of lower that down like that. So now that's kind of hidden out the way, but I can still select it. So if I do want to put down any grid items in this, what I'm about to build here, then, you know, I can do it on that grid. But what this will also allow me to do is it's now created a building. So you see where it says in this panel at the top right, that says building 7, total object 1. So that total object is obviously that's sunken into the ground. But also, that object forms part of building 7. So I can either click here and click edit building, and that will take me in, and I can then select this piece individually. See, it now says Castle Arch Support. Or I can click done, and then I can move the building as a whole. So if I've got multiple pieces down, then I can move them all at once. So I can move the whole structure if needed. So now that I've created that building, what I want to do is I want to put all my other pieces onto that I'm going to make for the entrance, so that if I do need to move it at a later stage, then I can move it all at once with relative ease. So that's why I want to do that. Okay, so with that out of the way, and I'm going to select my first piece. I'm actually going to name this building, just so we can see what it's called. I'm going to call this entrance. There we go. Boom. So let's get into this. So let's see. I wanted stucco. So I'll go stucco. And then we're going to actually filter this down by going to decorations. No, sorry, we're going to go to walls, and then we're going to go to columns. So now we've got a bunch of columns here, and they are actually quite narrow. I thought they were a bit more, a bit thicker than that, but I think they'll do. I think they will do. So I'm going to just compare a few of these actually now and see what they all look like. Okay, so there's 3 different styles here, and I can actually use the individual parts if I want to, but I'm going to just use the full pillars just to get things rolling here, really. So, which one do I prefer the best? I'm thinking this one on the left, to be honest with you. It's got a bit more bulk at the bottom, and this square column, I think I much prefer to the round one. So, yeah, we'll do that, and then well, actually, what I actually want to do is I actually want to see what it's going to look like if I put a few of these together into one piece, if that makes sense. So what I want to do is, this is probably one of the most useful tools in the game, and it's called Advanced Move and Duplicate. So you can either click there or go Control and X. So that's now duplicated that item. And what I can then do is I can move it in relation to the original object, and I can also move it with very, very precise control. So I can actually just slide this over to the side here like that, and I can get it very, very close to the original item, or I can even just clip it in like that. So they kind of just join together, and it almost looks like one pillar now. I think there's still a gap in the middle, maybe? Let's have a look. I can't tell. I don't think there's a gap there, but there's certainly something strange going on with the textures there, especially in between the two. But that's not too bad, actually. Not too bad. Let's see if we do that again. Okay. And then we'll do that one more time. You know, that doesn't look too bad, actually. I quite like that. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm going to go with that, to be honest. I think I'm going to go with that. So, let's get rid of all these guys to... There we go. Okay. So we can get this started properly. And that's given me an idea now, actually, because we're going to do it like that. I kind of want to see where the paths are going to go so that I can envisage where we can put the pillars. So we're going to change this to 90 degrees angle snap. And then we're going to cut the length down to 1. So let's see. So we can do that like that. And I want sort of multiple paths going through this structure. So we're going to go like that, and then like that. Yeah, I think that's okay. And then we're going to do the same again, sort of like that. There we go. Okay. So we're going to have a pillar there, there, and there. I think that should be okay. I mean, what I'm thinking now is, let's see if we can do this. Let's see if we can actually fill this in with a gridded path. This is a new feature that was added, I believe, in the beta. So you can kind of create a large open area like this. That doesn't want to seem to join up for some reason. I'm actually going to just delete those bits there. And I think this was the problem before. That's why the path wasn't changing texture. Okay, so let's try this again. Let's do it like this. Okay, there we go. Still won't let me get a grid from that piece there. Why is it doing that? It won't join up. Let me just figure this out. I'll be back with you in a sec. Okay then, guys. So I think I've sussed it now. I had to do a little bit of fiddling there. But yeah, I'm not exactly sure what it was. It was the path pieces that had been placed in when the park was generated that were playing up a little bit, but I think we've resolved that now. So let's get right to it then. Let's select our building that we put down here previously. I think it should be somewhere down there. There we go. So he's just right there. And if you're wondering what I'm doing now, I'm using the multi-selection tool to kind of highlight an area, and then you can kind of click and drag. So what I want to do now is I want to click on, let's see here. Yeah, okay. So we want to click on edit building. And let's just double check where the grid is here, because I think I actually moved it. Okay, so I'm just actually going to place that down there, and then I'm going to delete that instead. Okay, so that's cool. Anyway, that's not a problem. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the columns that we had before. So we'll go back on the stucco right here, and then we'll go on these guys. And then what we want to do is to get the most control over placing these down, press X instead of clicking to place it down. And then that's going to allow me to... That's going to allow me to place that down with a bit more accuracy there. Now, I'm not sure if that's fully straight, and I'm not sure if I can do anything about that before I place it down. Let's see. Oops. Okay, so you can hold Z to kind of... You can hold Z to rotate things when you place them in straight away. Let's see. Is that straight? Our first piece that we placed down, it's got to be straight. It's not. Okay, so let's just get that right. There we go. That'll do it. That will do it. Okay then. So let's do this. Then we're gonna click on it, and then we're gonna do this advanced move and duplicate once again, and then we'll tick that, and then it duplicates it again for us, so we can just do it again straight away, and then tick that, and then it's duplicated it again for us without us having to do anything further. And there we go. Wow, that sun is bright on that side. Okay, so I think that's nicely lined up then. Cool stuff. Awesome. So what I'd like to do now is I'm going to select those guys and then just hit Control and D and duplicate them. And I want them to be... In fact, let's see. Can I click those? Yes, I can. That's awesome. So I can click Duplicate and Advanced Move on all of them. And then I can literally just slide them across like that, so they're all perfectly aligned, which is fantastic. And then I can do the same again. And I can do the same again. Awesome stuff. And then I should be able to do the same at the opposite side as well. What is that over there? There's some park guests just in the middle of the field. That is bizarre. Maybe that's something to do with the fact that I deleted some of the path earlier on that they were on. Maybe? I don't know. Anyway, so that's them placed. And then we'll go on these guys again and we'll just do them at this side as well. Okay, there we go. Looking pretty awesome. Fantastic stuff. All right, so let's put a bit of a platform over the top of them, and let's have a look here. Let's see what we've got to play with. So we'll go on to roofs. We've got a stucco roof flat. Or a stucco roof rounded. Let's see what they look like. Ooh, I'm not a fan of that one. Okay, so this one's much better. Let's have a look at how we can place this, because you can see that this bit is actually placed to the grid. But it might just work out fine for us in this instance. So let's see if we can place that in nicely. And that's actually worked out pretty nice, to be honest with you. So yeah, let's use that. And we'll use shift to move it upwards, and there we go. Need one more. There we go. Cool. Okay. So yeah, what I'm going to do then is I'm going to actually build this up and put a few in between as well. There we go. And I think I'm going to do another one on top as well. So we've got 2 layers of that. And let's see, does that have a different texture on each side? Yes, it does. Okay, so let's actually... Yeah, we'll put them down first. So we'll do it like... Oops. Like that. And then what we can do is we can kind of just hold control and then select all of these guys. Oh, damn it. Oops. What did I just do? I don't know what I just did. And we're missing one on the end for some reason. There we go. Okay, and then I'm just gonna hit move. And then I'm gonna hit Z twice to rotate them, and there we go. Boom. So we've got a little bit of a different texture going on. It's a little bit of variation there. Okay. Cool. So let's have a look at some other pieces that we've got to play with here. And I've just noticed that this episode is actually getting quite long already. It's longer than I wanted it to be. So I may actually split this into 2 parts. So yeah, I think what I'll do is I'm going to cut it here. And I'm going to split this up into 2 parts. I'm going to record the second part now. So I'm actually posting this up later on this evening. So that's going to go live today. Today's launch day, the 17th. So it's going to go live tonight about 7 o'clock. And then what I'm going to do is I will post part 2 up. I'll post that tomorrow. I'll post that at 5 p.m. So stay tuned to the channel. If you like the video, please do leave me a like to let me know. I know I've been rambling on a lot in this episode. But obviously I've been trying to introduce you to the game as best as I can do, and I hope I'm doing an okay job at that. And I hope you're liking the look of this. So once again, like I say, leave a like if you like the video, and if you really like the video and you want to see more videos like this, then please do subscribe to the channel. But thank you very much for watching. I'm going to create a playlist for this series as well, so you'll find a link to that in the description if you're watching this after the fact. So once again, thank you very much. I've been Lethal Bob, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.